Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. You can see who I'm here with, a guy who's never been on Bullony Basketball, but he's no stranger to the channel. My guy Jacob, JDisney, Embor Crusher. How's it going?
Pretty good. Got off a long shift at the office, and I'm ready to talk some b-ball knowledge. Ready.
Yes, sir. Bro came in here and trolled before we started and had the D Rose ACL injury as his green screen background.
I'm sorry. I respect Derrick Rose, love his game. Horrible thing that happened, but I'm like, gotta pick a background. Derrick Rose hate. Oh, Derrick Rose injury. Hey, okay, let's throw that up.
Bro's hating on me, just like the basketball golf, just like the mini golf when you tried to hit my ball both times. Anyways, let's go over to the first topic, though, where people have been hating a lot, and that is, these MVP leaders that faced off over the past week, Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, back-to-back days playing games. First game, the Thunder win. Shai probably has the better game. Second game, the Nuggets win. Jokic has the better game. Now, granted, the first game, Jokic kind of did hurt himself with his elbow, and he kept playing. It looked like it kind of affected his shot, but between these two, it seems like the MVP has officially come down to these two, and there's one more month left in the year. So what's your take? Who's your pick? What do you make of like this whole MVP discussion right now?
I mean, the discourse has been interesting. I got all my takes from SMH24. You guys might know him.
I've heard of him. He's usually spot on.
Yeah. So he's going to endorse what I'm going to say here, and that is, I don't think Jokic should be MVP. I really don't. The dude dropped an incredible stat line against the Suns, and then he goes out there and does that. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. On another note, too, it'd be boring if he won again. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like would we have Patrick Mahomes winning MVP every year? No. Then the NFL would be boring. Why would I want this guy to win? Now, granted, though, I will admit, I think his main profession is like a horse tamer, or he runs a ranch or something, and does the basketball on the side.
He does love his horses, yeah.
Yeah, so impressive for a farmer to come out and drop like that insane stat line against the Suns. I mean, Jesus.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that other guy should get MVP. I was looking at some highlights, some stats earlier, and I'm like, I don't know if this guy's really gonna do anything in the NBA. And then you look at him progress, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, this dude's like popping off now. So that's my take on it. I will say too, my other take, and I definitely know you endorse. I think when it comes time for Executive of the Year, LeBron James needs to win. Not only has the dude secured a player like Luka, he's also secured a replacement in his son Bronny. Because look at Bronny's talent. That dude isn't going to be playing in the NBA long. But by putting him in the G League and in the Lakers organization, Bronny gets familiar with the players, the facilities, etc., making him the ultimate GM because he knows the facilities and the organization inside and out. He's already got his replacement picked out. That is executive MVP right there, thinking for the future of his franchise with his son. I mean, come on, that right there is executive of the year to me, and maybe even MVP candidate because he is basically carrying the team. But
maybe I would say for him, agent of the year for getting Bronny a contract.
That's it.
The fact Bronny's on a 4-year locked deal is crazy. I do agree with you that, when you were talking about like SGA, like he is someone I was on the record saying for the longest, I'm like, people think he's going to be an all-star. Like, I'm not buying it. Like when he was younger, and obviously now he's kind of proved me wrong. And he's been like first team All-NBA last couple of years. I get where you're coming from saying like how, Jokic has won it the last couple of years, it seems like. And so it would be boring. However, it's just hard to ignore, like, because he's having like his best season ever, and he's averaging a triple-double. I know Russell Westbrook.
He averaged one last season. I think even the season before that, the dude always gets that triple-double.
Right, but who else is doing that at that efficiency? There's no one. Exactly. That's my point. Like, I don't know. I think with SGA, he's having a great year, leading the league in scoring. Obviously they have a better team record. I just think they have a better team though too. I think that's what makes it hard is like we have to separate the fine line of like how good is SGA's team as opposed to Jokic's team. And when they're both on the floor, like obviously SGA's team like scores at a higher rate. They're just naturally a better team. But when you take them both off the floor, they both get worse. But the Thunder are still like a kind of average team, and the Nuggets are like horrible. So that's what kind of does it for me. On top of like, you know, obviously the triple doubles and stuff, his efficiency. I think I don't know where he is currently, but I know he was about a week or so ago. He was like top 6 in points, rebounds, and assists, but also steals per game and threes, which that's just crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you think about that.
I mean, no, it is insane. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, literally, yes. I like Nikola's game. The man goes out there, he performs. He just doesn't act like nothing happened. The man, on some level, probably just fucking hates basketball. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but he probably just hates basketball. On some level, he's like, oh god, I gotta wake up and be an NBA superstar today. I just want to take care of my farm, which I get it. But anyways, but no, I mean, all jokes aside, an insane player. I definitely get the argument for him versus SGA. I understand, like, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I feel like, yeah, SGA kind of, not necessarily out of nowhere, but it's kind of like, you know, if you told somebody like 3 years ago he'd be in MVP talks with Nikola, you'd be like, yeah, really? Are you sure about that? So,
no, I agree. I mean,
it's interesting though.
I do agree with that. I will say though, so let's say, because someone said this, like actually, I think it was Mike Malone, who's the Nuggets coach. Like, if you just took the names away from it and you just looked at like what player A and player B's like stats, their like impact is and stuff like that, you know, along with like their supporting cast or team record, everything in the one, you know, would you be more willing to say like maybe Jokic should win it, or would you still be on like the team SGA for the MVP?
I mean,
like obviously there's some stats that aren't accounted for as much, like defense, and even though I think Jokic gets too much hate on defense, I think we know SGA is better on that end, but I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to say necessarily because I mean the MVP is about like the player themselves, right?
Yeah, usually. I mean the criteria so like, is a little different sometimes.
Well, yeah, you know, a little politics in it, I'm sure, but you know, like it just, I don't know. It's not like it's the award for carrying your team the best. It's like how good are you as an actual player, which admittedly you could, I guess, argue Nikola. But at the same time, I don't know, man. There's just something about SGA that, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a fanboy with him, but I agreed. If you take away the names, and you know, like he said, I don't know. I almost still want to give it to SGA, but at the same time, I mean, you can't ignore ignore Nikola. You just can't do it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the criteria has definitely changed. I mean, I think really the year with Westbrook and Harden, like putting up triple doubles, kind of changed that. Like now it's like stats have a huge weight on it. Because, I mean, there was a time like 20 years ago, like Steve Nash won MVP, and like you could say like, well, Kobe had better stats and stuff, and you know, maybe he was doing the most impressive carry job, but like Steve Nash had his team like so high in the standings without other players and people out. So it is tough. I mean, I don't know. I think that's just how the nature of the award is now. It's like more stats like that are eye popping, along with your team being like somewhat respectable. You can't be like a 12 seed or something, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if you want though. We can keep it pushing here. Move on to the next topic. You know, talk about, you know, as we're getting closer to the end of the year, the playoffs right around the corner. There's not that many teams, you know, I feel like have a realistic chance at this point in time, like that we could put full stock in. So I'm going to ask you though, who do you think is the team to beat in the NBA for this year right now?
I mean, so admittedly, I think it kind of depends on which team you are. Like, for example, what is it? Like certain teams struggle against other teams. It's a poor way of phrasing it. I'm trying to think how to say.
Like it's matchup based, kind of is what
you're
at.
Yeah, I think it kind of doesn't matter what team you are. Like, I mean, there's definitely because my like kind of takeaway is I don't necessarily see the Cavs as like the team you gotta beat. I don't want to write the Cavs off from what they've done, but I mean, besides Donovan Mitchell, I don't know. I mean, none of those guys have anybody in the top 5. There's not really, but at the same time, I guess you could argue that decent team. It's just my point is I don't like the Cavs, for example. I don't see as like a team to beat per se. I think they're a beatable team, but I don't think it's like the Golden State Warriors. Like if we beat these guys, it's a lock. It's a lock at this point. But I definitely think it's like, yeah, you got to be able to come over Nikola and the Nuggets. You got to be able to overcome the Thunder. Even then, the Thunder might be one of those other teams that's kind of like, well, if you beat the Thunder, I still don't know if you're a lock for the win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah. But it's kind of hard besides the Thunder, too. I mean, because technically there's the Celtics, but the Celtics, they're kind of getting up there, and same with the Bucks. But again, these are still teams that are in the top ranks, so you can't just write them off entirely. But yeah, I don't know if there's really any set teams that I personally have that it's like, oh, if they beat this team, they're a lock. Like, they're going to take it all.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, it sounds like to you, at least from the teams that are up there in contention, like kind of the Cavs loosely, the Thunder loosely, maybe Celtics, Bucks. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Yeah, roughly. Like, I mean, I don't really have any super, like, deviations from the top kind of guys. I did think an interesting stat line that I did notice was the Cavs don't, maybe I missed this, but the Cavs don't seem to do, I mean, it's a close game against the Rockets, for example, but the Rockets beat them. I think it was either back to back or it was Rockets, then Philly, then Rockets again, and they lost to the Rockets. And it's like, the Rockets, really? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, we have our off days, but man, okay. I mean, the Rockets are technically up there, I guess. But that right there, I'm like, I mean, it's close, but I don't. Again, everyone has their off days, so I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. They did also do that earlier in the year against Atlanta, where they lost back to back.
Yeah, Atlanta's another one, and it's like, okay, I mean, you can't be losing to like Atlanta and the Rockets, but I mean, it's close games, so you could write it off.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's a little bit like skeptical with Cleveland is that you know, and this is kind of the problem the Celtics faced not last year with like, but the year before they won. And I think that's why they got down. They got down like 3-0 to the Heat, and the Heat were like the 8 seed, and it's like, how does that happen when you're the 2 seed? But like, they just really had a bad year in terms of like specific teams. Like they would either dominate teams or they would just flounder against teams. So it was kind of like a matchup thing, which is like what you were alluding to. And so for the Cavs, I mean, those 2 teams and Boston have all beaten them multiple times this year. So you kind of hope that's not like a matchup issue when it gets to the playoffs. But if you had to ask me, I mean, it really is, 3 teams I think that are in the mix. I feel like, OKC has definitely been the best team in the West. I think for the regular season, Cleveland's been the best team in the East. And then, of course, the Celtics are still playing like good enough that it's like, okay, they could repeat. Maybe if you threw a 4th team in there, I guess you throw in Denver. I know the Lakers have been playing well. Like the Bucks, you can't count out like Giannis and Dame. I don't know really about the Knicks too much anymore because now like Jalen Brunson's hurt and they've been kind of trash lately. So I don't know. I think that if I had to put it on one team, just throughout like the course of the season, like we haven't really seen a team do what the Cavs have been doing. And I would almost say like, Boston is going to be like the betting odds favorite, but I feel like Cleveland should be second, even though like they'd have to go through Boston earlier. So their odds you'd think be lower, but I feel like they even have a better shot like against OKC, who they've split with them too. So I don't know. I think, and like you said too, I know aside from like Donovan Mitchell, like a lot of those guys haven't really proven much in the playoffs, but I do also think that there was an extreme amount of like fortune last year for the Celtics. I mean, every round they played teams that had so many injuries. It really didn't feel like they were ever tested. So I feel like if they're actually tested this year by a team like Cleveland or a team like OKC, I don't know if they're going to show up,
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think with the Celtics part of view, at least, I don't. They technically could repeat, but yeah, I feel like, again, like I said before, I feel like they're kind of past their window almost a little bit. I feel like I definitely would agree. I think the Cavs can come through and they can beat Celtics. I wouldn't write them off. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible either for the Cavs to win. It's just one of those where you almost find it a little hard to believe that
Yeah.
it's the Cavs. But I mean, and again, it's like it's the Cavs. They don't have any top 5 leaders in any categories. But again, it's the team themselves. Like it's not like they have like a Nikola or anything like that, or they have like just the team itself doing it. So I mean, that is it's impressive.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, I don't know. I do think though Donovan Mitchell is probably one of the better leaders in the league. So I do think if there's anybody to like, I guess like galvanize the troops and like get them playing like that, because like Darius Garland's been probably having his most confident season. Same with Evan Mobley and a lot of these like other bench guys that they got like Ty Jerome and now DeAndre Hunter's on the team. So I don't know. I trust him. I know that he'll show up and I know that he'll have everyone ready. So it's just a matter of if they can, I guess, like match the 3-point production of like a Boston or an OKC. So.
Oh, you know what though? One thing you did say earlier I thought was interesting. You had mentioned you had the Lakers in your kind of lineup of teams there. I can't believe that. Because I, funny enough, was doing today to prepare a little bit. I checked on the Lakers roster. Like, all their main dudes are just out or day to day.
They are.
That's insane to me. And they're also like, yeah, I don't know. So that's interesting to throw the Lakers in there. I was kind of surprised you said that. I'm like, aren't they down to like their like basically second almost third lineup at this point? But yeah, to be fair, I don't know. Maybe they all magically recover come playoffs. I mean, we don't know how LeBron and Luka can be in a playoff situation, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I know LeBron's currently out. He should be back in like a week or two. The thing that hurts them is they don't really have like a big, in like last couple years, like Jokic just destroyed them, and that's when they had Anthony Davis. Now they don't even have Anthony Davis guarding him. So what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? And I even think like the Thunder, like last year they struggled against the Lakers mostly because the Lakers had AD. Now they don't have AD. The Thunder have better bigs. It's just like they're kind of mismatched in that category. They're going to need to hit a lot of threes, and they're going to need like both LeBron and Luka to play great. You know what I mean? Which maybe they get one of those to happen, but probably not both of them to happen in every series. So it's like a loose. They're kind of like the Knicks, but from the Western Conference side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so we can move on to the next topic. Talk about the bad side of things. Teams that are rough going through it. Maybe our top 3 teams that we think are going to destruct this summer. Now, destruct could be just trading away one star. Could be trading away the whole team. Could be just the start of a process of like taking guys out one by one. So yeah, I'll ask you like who are I guess like your 3 teams you think are just gonna destruct this off season.
I mean, this might not come as a surprise. In my top 2, I definitely have the Bucks and the Celtics.
Wow, Celtics. Okay, I'm gonna need to hear the Celtics, but go ahead. Right. I can see the Bucks.
Because my issue with these 2 teams is similar. They're similar. I think the problem with their rosters are they're kind of where the Patriots are at the end of their dynasty. Before they got Mac Jones, it was kind of Tom Brady's in that weird kind of he's getting up there. He's got to retire or transfer soon. I think it's kind of where they're kind of going. They're kind of got these older rosters. I could be wrong, but I don't think they really have any flashy young guys at the moment. I mean, I think Celtics roster they're all almost in their 30s, if not already in their 30s. I mean, the Bucks at this point, it's like, I mean, yeah, Giannis, but I mean, maybe Dame, but how long is Dame going to be around? Who's going to replace Dame? What's going to happen there? And I mean, Giannis has probably still got some good years of production left. I don't doubt that for a minute, but where basically my problem is where's that next move? I don't know. I don't see them I don't see them like thinking this summer, like, okay, we gotta, what is our plan for the future? Because I don't know, frankly, if they even have one. I don't know, but I would say my 3rd hottest take, like super hot. I can explain the Celtics one in a minute.
Oh god,
I thought this one would be kind of fun to throw out there. I almost want to say the Cavs.
The Cavs?
I'm dead serious.
What? Okay.
I'm like, what is the hot? No, okay.
That might be too hot of a That's crazy. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Listen, you should totally write off the Cavs one. But like, let me make a someone cobbled together argument against the Cavs.
Okay,
Anyways,
be the anti-Cavs fan
okay.
here.
Think about it, right?
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell. Oh, Evan Mobley's having a good season. Some guys are having some good seasons. Okay, and what happened? Cooper Flag. What happens when he comes in the league? He's gonna smoke the Cavs. That's what's gonna happen.
This is some crazy propaganda
No,
going
but okay. If my philosophy though,
on. Cooper Flag.
if my philosophy about them just getting lucky is right, okay. What's gonna happen is they're gonna go in the offseason thinking, well, we don't need to make any changes. Then, oh shoot, our luck ran out, and next season is gonna start, and they're gonna absolutely collapse. And then Donovan Mitchell's gonna be, I don't want to stay here anymore. I had my season. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go play for somebody else. He's gonna pull LeBron and dip out. That's what's gonna happen. The Cooper Flag's gonna come and smack them back to reality, and they're gonna have to find another LeBron.
Okay, the Cooper Flag part is crazy. I don't see that happening. Here's what I will say though about that. Well, I'll start with your take on the Bucks. I actually could see the Bucks to an extent, just because like they are the oldest team in the league. This is the second year with Dame and Giannis. There still are like some rumblings that it's like Dame only wanted to go to the Miami Heat and he never got there, and he's still a little upset and stuff like that. You know, their coach is Doc Rivers, who never has a lot of success aside from that team with the Celtics in 2008. So, I mean, I could see that. I mean, there's people that are keeping an eye on like Giannis and if he wants to leave. So it's definitely possible. Actually, I mean, I can see to an extent your point with the Celtics from this point. I mean, obviously Tatum and Brown, are not going anywhere. You know, they're kind of like the main pieces of the team. But if you look at like some of the other guys, like, you know, Al Horford, he's like almost 40. Drew Holiday is like, what, 35, 36. And actually there was a thing that said like he was, like a couple years ago, he said like he'd maybe retire after like 2024 when they won the championship. So I'm not saying these guys are going to retire after this year, but it seems like they're not going to have all too many years after that. And I'm looking at like the other young guys, like aside from Tatum and Brown, like Derek White's a little bit older than them, but like maybe Peyton Pritchard, and that's kind of like it. I mean, I don't really think that there's like a whole lot of young assets that they got on this team. I mean, Porzingis too, but you can never really trust him. He's always hurt. The Cavs is crazy. You know, what I will say is it's this year for the Cavs. I mean, it seems obvious because they're probably about to win 70 games. And it's only been done like 2 or 3 times before. Like, this is probably going to be the best year they have like this group of players assembled. Every year from like after this, it could go a little downhill. That's just how the money like bargaining agreement like for the league works nowadays. Like, it's just harder to retain players. So this summer, like, they're probably their best bench player, Ty Jerome. He's, you know, a free agent. They might not be able to bring him back. And then the next year it's like a couple more role players. And then the next year it's Donovan Mitchell. Then the next year it's Garland and Mobley and Jared Allen and stuff like that. So I could see it from that perspective, where it's like kind of like if you remember when the Warriors and the Rockets played, when the Rockets had like James Harden and like the Warriors had like Curry and Durant and stuff, and they almost beat them that one year. And then Chris Paul got hurt, and then after that, like they just kept losing player. It was a 1-by-1. That's just how it worked based on the bargaining agreement of the league, and they never could get back to that. It's kind of like what you're seeing with the Nuggets right now after the championship. Like, they've lost some role players. So I don't know. That's like the only thing I will say. I think it's crazy to think that they'll have a downfall like, you know, this summer. But I guess I can tell you though what my 3 teams were.
I mean, listen, if
go
you
ahead.
peak, right? If you peak, the only way down from your peak is to fall.
Bro, I mean, okay, when you put it like that, yes, they might have a downfall. They might go from like 70 wins to 68 wins. 70 to 60.
There you go. That's a collapse right there. So I'm vindicated.
I do think there are 3 teams that will destruct a little bit more this summer. I think the biggest one is the Suns. You know, they're just they're not even really a playoff team. Like, they're barely even playing caliber, and they got like 3 guys like Durant, Booker, and Beal, and like they're gonna have to move off of one of them. Like, there's things saying like, oh, Durant's definitely gone this summer. I feel like if you even want to get anywhere, like and restart with that team, you have to trade Devin Booker. They don't want to do that, so something's gonna happen that's crazy. I think you're already seeing the Dallas Mavericks destruct after trading Luka. Like that's everyone's getting hurt after that. You know what I mean?
Not even the coach knew. Nobody knew. I mean, that's
Yeah.
poor communication right there. It's like, really? Even your coach doesn't know about this?
Yeah. And then the other team I had is I had the Sixers. I just think like not maybe fully because obviously they just gave Paul George a lot of money. It's gonna be hard to trade him, and I think Tyrese Maxey's good, but I feel like they're going to have to trade Joel Embiid. I mean, he's been there for like a decade. He's always injured. Now it seems like he has less motivation to be with the team, even though he's never said it. It's just like that's what it seems like from watching him. So that would probably be my three. I guess a sleeper team would be like the Hawks just because they're mid too. And Trae Young could get traded. So, but yeah. I don't know if you have anything you want to add there or if you want to move on.
Not particularly. Not with that.
Okay. Well, we can move on to the little fun segments here to wrap up the show. So we got the honor of the week before we get into the mini game. So the honor of the week, I'm going to give you a former player. You're going to have 1 minute to talk about for good or for bad. And I'm interested to see which direction you take on this because I feel like it's kind of a polarizing player to an extent. I know he has a lot of fans, but I know he also has some haters, so we'll see how you do here. So are you ready?
Is it guaranteed that I know who the player is?
You're going to know who the player is, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say if I don't just go off the cuff and hope, or
yeah, it's not gonna be someone like too obscure or out of the blue, I guess.
It's not Brian Scalabrine. All right.
No. And he's not out of the blue. He's the GOAT. Anyways, fun fact, I've actually met him twice. I don't know if you knew that at all or not, but
I do now. I mean, yeah, I know it now.
I met him at the Big Three in Chicago in 2017, and then I met him at the Hall of Fame in 2021. So every 4 years. So Brian Scalabrine is watching. I have to link up with him this year. Anyways, so you'll have about 1 minute, and if you go over the time, it's fine. But are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You can praise him. You can hate him. It's however you want to do it. Your player. You can go as soon as I say the name too. It is Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, the big diesel.
Yes.
All right. My boy Shaq. Now listen. I love my boy Shaq. I'll be honest. I'm more of a Kobe fan than Shaq. I think Kobe changed the game way more than Shaq did. But at the same time, with Kobe and Shaq, you can't name another Shaq. Just like you can't name another Kobe. I can't think of another massive dude down low with Shaq's build. I know there's massive dudes that play in the position of center, right? Nikola, all those guys. But come on. You're not seeing my boy built like the diesel anymore. You're not seeing him bodying these tiny kids in the paint, dunking it up anymore. You're not seeing that. And not only that, but the man has an insane DJ career. He the place I went to college, he DJ'd at. I didn't go, but I heard people say it was awesome. I was too busy in my dorm playing video games like a dweeb. That's besides the point. Shaq is cool, and I like Shaq. And also, nobody remembers the time on his Heat or on the Heat team and Lakers dynasty forever. Is that about a minute?
That is a little over a minute, yeah.
A minute though.
Well, I do agree. You know, Kobe over Shaq for sure.
You said Kobe over. Okay.
Yeah. But Shaq was pretty good, a dominant player. I would say one of the top 10 players ever. I think that it was the perfect player for you. We know how you like your big dudes.
Big black dudes.
Okay. That is crazy.
I mean you talking at a 30.
Whoa, what
I was here to talk basketball, not those kind of balls. Jesus.
I don't even know I feel like what you said had to be worse in every context. Anyways, Shaq was pretty good. I feel like he's polarizing though, because obviously he's on NBA on TNT, and some people love him, some people hate him.
I'll say, isn't he kind of sometimes a bit of a a jerk to be? a little above about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I heard mixed things about how he can be outside, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
He hates Dwight Howard for no reason.
Oh, I know that. Oh no, and then there was Shaq and a Fool, where it went after JaVale McGee, and I think it was JaVale McGee's mom or Shaq's mom. Like I think both of them.
It was JaVale's mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I should have praised that. Shaq and a Fool, amazing. As a normie casual basketball enjoyer, I loved it. Oh my god, on YouTube, I watched it. It's awesome.
Facts. Yeah, Shaq and a Fool, definitely a legendary addition to the show. Although I don't know, I feel like lately they kind of like do a little too much with it, too many like gimmick things. But I don't know. Yeah. Still good. Still good.
Wasn't a fan of the gimmicky bits, admittedly. Yeah.
Facts. But we can move on now to the Rose or Fell mini game. So it's slightly different. You know, obviously prior to this in the season, I did the Rose Gold trivia mini game. This is going to be the Rose or Fell mini game. How it's going to work is I'm going to give you 5 players. I'm going to give you 1 year to another year. And you're going to say Rose if you think their scoring average rose. And you're going to say Fell if you think it fell. Pretty simple. And then after that, I'm going to basically ask you to tell me like how many points it like rose or fell by. And for every point you are within like the guess or whatever, if you're within 5 points of that, you'll get some points. So basically, if you're right on the dot, you'll get 5 points. You're within 1 point, you get 4. You're within 2 points, you get 3. If you're more than 5 points away, over or under, then you just won't get anything for that. So basically, you can get 50 points. You can get 5 for every rose or fell, and then up to 5 for every increase or decrease. Sound good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, I will say that the increases and decreases, you know, obviously these are all pretty close, so shouldn't be too crazy. And it's to the nearest 10th, too, so it'll be like something point something will be your guess.
Okay, so it's whole number, and now wait, hold on. Do I say rounded, like do I say 20, or do I say 20.5?
Like, if you were going to guess like 20 right on the nose, it'd be like 20.0. If you were going to, or you'd guess like 20.4 or 20.7 or something. But it's basically your increase or decrease is like what you're looking for, not like the total points. So.
Okay, never mind. I'll talk about the bonus. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, you'll see. So, the first one, and now for this one, you're just gonna tell me if it's scoring average rose or fell first. Ben Gordon, from 2008 to 2009. Now this is a D Rose teammate, his rookie year. Did his scoring average rose or fell?
I'm talking about Ben Gordon, right?
Ben Gordon, correct.
I'm gonna say fell on this one. I'm gonna say fell.
So you're gonna rock with fell?
I'm gonna rock with fell. I don't know when Derrick Rose is in his prime, but that sounds about prime Derrick Rose years, and I feel like he'd be scoring a lot.
Well, so let me reiterate, because I guess I did kind of confuse you. So it is Ben Gordon. Like
I'm talking about like I'm saying Derrick Rose is scoring, and Ben Gordon's like.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So you think Rose is rose and Ben Gordon's fell? Is what you're getting at.
I'm saying Ben Gordon definitely fell because Rose was so good during
that's
guessing.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna go with fell then, you said?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. It is not fell. So
perfect score.
That is a perfect score out the window already. But you'll have a chance to get some more points here. Now you have to tell me, because the answer was rose, you have to tell me how much did it rise by, and something point something, like from 1 year to the next.
6.9.
Okay, it's quite a guess. So you're going with 6.9 then?
Wait, no. Now you made me. No, wait, hold on. Now you made me doubt myself. I'm going 6.8.
Okay, so 6.8 then. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it is not 6.8. But it was within 5. So you still got a point. You got 1 point for that.
Well, how many was it?
It was 2.1. It went up by. So it wasn't that many.
You don't realizing now why you were kind of like, are you sure?
Well, I was only saying, like, are you sure? Because, like, I just normally ask people. Also, because, like, I know why you guessed 6.9. You weren't slick with that. So.
For real? Oh my god.
Okay, well, anyways, you got 1 point right now. That's decent. We'll see if you can get 10 on this. I feel like you can.
Okay.
So, are you ready for the second one?
Yes.
All right, so the second one, we got Ja Morant. Okay. From last year to this current season, has his scoring average rose or fell?
Isn't this the year he got that suspension for Dunn?
Last year was the year he got suspended. This is his first year back though from it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he was playing.
I'm gonna say Rose.
He was playing up until March last year, by the way.
Right,
but
Rose. I'm still going Rose.
So you're going Rose?
Yeah, I think after you come off something that cool, your stats are gonna rise. I'm sorry, not cool. We're against that here, I think. We're Adam Silver against it, or are we? Yeah, Rose. I'm going Rose. I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay. Well, it's fell. 0-2 on the main ones.
Second perfect score.
Okay, well you can still get some pointage here. So how much is the scoring average dropped as of today? This is, by the way,
dropped.
So it could be subject to change, in the next coming days.
I'm gonna say 3.5. 3.5 sounds right.
So 3.5.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, 3.5. Never mind.
Okay. So is not 3.5, but pretty decent guess. It was 3.9.
Oh wait, okay, I'll take that. That's actually wow.
That's actually pretty decent, yeah.
I say, oh, okay, cool.
So okay, so you got 4 points for that because you were within 0.4, so you were under a point away. So you got 5 total points right now. That was a better question there. We'll see if you can get one of the.
Good guess. It was a good guess, right?
It was a good guess on the differential. I'll give you that for sure.
Both of them were good guesses. If I got suspended for doing something that mixed feelings, I would have had my stats rise, but whatever.
Well, Ja Morant's did not. And so the third question, so it's going to be focusing on Kevin Love. Of course, another D Rose teammate. So from 2017 to 2018. So the season before to the season during being teammates with D Rose. Rose or fell?
Yeah, that's just after the 2016 playoffs too.
It is. That's about the start of it. Is like right after that.
You know what? I'm going to say fell. I'm going to say fell on this one. I just have a feeling.
So your feeling is fell?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good feeling because it is fell.
I knew it. See, I knew because what happens is they're probably feeding LeBron that season. I knew it.
That probably is a good, assumption. That was year was like the year that they had traded away Kyrie. Then they traded away all those guys at the trade deadline. So
I'm so smart. I knew LeBron would steal all the points away from Kevin Love, and I know for a fact that Kevin Love's points went down by about 2.4.
So you're going 2.4 on that?
Yeah, I know it for a fact. I looked it up today.
Okay. Well, then you would know that you can't do math because you were one off. It was 1.4.
Okay, wait. Actually, it was 1.4.
It was 1.4.
Okay, I mean, only be off by 1. That's actually kind of,
yeah. But if you had actually I mean, obviously you didn't. You're just saying it. But if you had actually looked at it, then it would have been like, oh well, he just can't do math. He added one too many.
I use Comic Sans with bright pink font at 16 pixels, so I must look like a 1 in Comic Sans, I guess. Or a 2, sorry.
What relevance does that have to the I don't even know. Anyways, we'll go on to the fourth one here. So we got Carmelo Anthony. Just like the one with Kevin Love, it's going to be the season before and the season during his time as a D Rose teammate. So 2016 to 2017.
I don't remember the Knicks being super good during this time. I'm going to say fell.
Maybe
I'm like way off on that. I don't remember the Derrick Rose Knicks saga going super great. I could be off on that.
So you're gonna go with fell for
I'm gonna go
Carmelo
fell,
Anthony's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you're right in the fact that their team was floundering, but that obviously made more opportunities for Carmelo Anthony because it rose. How much
there rose and it rose? You're right.
It no, it rose in scoring, and so what's the difference, you think?
I'm gonna say 4 for every question so far. 4. Oh, point oh. Sorry, I know the point is important.
Yes, it is important. So it is not 4. It is 0.6.
Are you serious?
It is hardly anything.
Okay.
So you still got 2 points for that.
Jesus, I shouldn't be laughing. I mean, I'd score 0 points, but God, 0.6.
Well, so yeah, these are like the changes, like in the.
No, yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
Jesus,
so
man, it's like almost nothing.
I think I don't know what he averaged the year before. I think it was like 21.5, and he went to like 22 point something. So, but so you still got 2 points for that. Let me see score update because we got one more question left. You got 12. So you got 16 points right now. Decent, pretty solid. There's one more question. If you can at least get the rose or fell here, you're gonna automatically end up with more than 20.
Mm-hmm.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
So the last question is, of course, Derrick Rose. From 2011, which was his MVP season, to 2012, where you're still an all-star, but it was not his MVP season. That's the season that he tore his ACL. Rose or fell?
I'm going to say Rose. You worded it in a way that made it sound like he fell. And I know you as a Derrick Rose lover would never emulate your hero by saying that his... What? Are you smiling?
No.
Wait, is it fell? Are you trying to trick me?
I have not said anything yet.
It's Rose. It's Rose because there's no shot you'd ever admit that Derrick Rose decreased in performance in any way. So Rose.
I mean, don't you think, though, at some point there has to be like a peak D Rose,
Yeah, and he peaked after that season. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put this question in there, Rose.
But wait, you said there's no way you would admit that he ever had a drop off. So that
roll it.
Wait, hold on. Before I say it, so that would imply that his last season was his best season ever.
I where to find out if you just tell me if it's Rose or not.
Okay, so you want to know?
I'm just saying, if you admit that Derrick Rose's points dropped, you're admitting that you're not a real Derrick Rose fan. So, I mean, but go ahead and say it.
Well, it fell.
Oh, and there it is. You take the Derrick Rose out of all your bio, all your pictures.
Bro's trying to blackmail me. I'll say why I put this one in here in a second, though. But you still have a chance to get 20 points. We'll see. How much did it fall by?
I'm going to say, wait, no, I'm not going to say Jesus. That would have been bad. I'll say 1.5.
So you want to roll with 1.5. Your final answer for the whole thing.
Wait, what number is Derrick Rose?
What number?
What jersey number did he have that year? Yeah.
1.
1.5.
Okay, so you're rolling with 1.5. And you got 3 points for this question.
I don't know what that means.
That means you ended up with 19 total. You just missed 20 by 1.
Wait, okay, sorry, you're about to say
it was 3.2. He dropped by.
Oh, I should have. You should have
went with 4 again.
And multiplied.
Or if you just went with your 4 again, you would have got it. So, but so the reason I picked that though is because like obviously 2011 was his MVP year, but I always said that I feel like he was just a better player his year after that. Even though he missed more time, like I feel like he was a better player. His stats might have went down, but like when he played, they were playing at like you see like how much the Cavs are winning right now. But I mean, come on, it's D Rose. They were winning at that rate, and everyone else in the league was like peasants to them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I put that there. I've always said I feel like he was at his best as a player that season, even though his scoring went down. So it definitely it seemed to trip you up, but it wasn't as hard as you thought. I was trying to say, MVP to non-MVP year.
Yeah, and see that was the trick part. I knew. Well, I thought I knew. Me of now knows that wasn't a trick, but me of 5 minutes ago, I had no idea. Yeah.
That is fair, but. And I mean, you're not walking away empty-handed. I guess that is a good thing. What do I
win?
You win 19 points.
So is there a point store I can cash that at? Is it like Fanatics points? Can I go get some like a Derrick Rose jersey?
You can get a token that you can use for a random tournament one day that you're competing in.
Now, is that how I get my Fanatics points, or?
Fanatics is not a sponsor of this show.
They should be.
Hey, if Fanatics is watching, then there you go. Yeah, I don't know. But overall, I mean, still 19 points. I can tell you, though, I mean, you're the only person I've ever done that minigame with. So technically, you're the leader.
Wait, I was going to ask you after the show, like, oh, did I get average or like?
Well, okay, so.
First one? Yeah.
So I will say, like, throughout the season, what was it? So, like, I've done, like, the Rose Gold trivia, which is also out of 50 possible points. Your performance here today would not have been the worst. It would have been somewhere in the middle. Of course, it was a different theme, but you would have been better than a couple people. So, there you go. But, yeah. I think, overall, pretty good, pretty decent show with my guy JDisney here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. I don't know if you want to add anything before we wrap it up. This is your time to shine.
I got nothing to add. I got nothing to add. All I'm gonna say is Cooper Flag's gonna destroy the league. LaMelo Ball, get him some help. I mean, I've seen the guy's highlights. He's like the white chocolate of like point guards. Get him some help. And
white chocolate was a point.
Anyways, all right. Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
White chocolate was a point guard. You say he's the white chocolate up point, so he'd just be white chocolate then.
I couldn't remember his name. I don't know why.
You could have said he's like the white chocolate 2.0. You said the white chocolate of point guards is crazy. Anyways, we'll see what happens with LaMelo and Cooper Flag. I mean, I will say this real quick. Cooper Flag will be good. He's not going to be running the league year one, though. We don't even know if he's coming to the NBA. There's rumors saying he could go to Duke.
Are you sure he's not going to run the league? I mean, he dunked.
I mean, there's rumors saying he might stay at Duke another year.
That is true. He could do that. I don't blame him. I'm a Cooper Flag glazer, so.
Players are doing anything to avoid going to the Wizards.
True.
So, anyways, thought it was a good show. Appreciate you joining me on this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.